My apologies, I forgot to delete the other videos off the memory card. Heck, it's a 16 gigabyte memory card, or megabyte, whatever. Used to seem like a lot of memory card, but not really. Had to stop and feed the fish, put the kids to bed, all that good stuff. Grab myself an adult beverage. And I know I was drinking a Red Bull on here earlier. Man, don't message me and say, dude, you're going to die. That stuff's so bad for you. You know what? I have like 1 or 2 of those things a week. And yes, I've kind of researched them. That's why I only have 1 or 2 a week. They sure are good. But I limit them. I'm more of a coffee guy. I just have a beer or 2. A couple beers, maybe 3. After the kids go to bed, it helps wind me down from all the caffeine I've drank during the day, which is no lie. Alright, so we got all the clutch stuff out. We'll get that pan out of here. Trying to think what I did on the last one. I recently stripped out one of these bolts. I don't know why they put a hex head bolt down in there recessed like that. An 8mm head would sure seem like a good idea. I don't know. I stripped one of these out recently, and I can't remember if it was this or a KTM, but I had to get the reverse drill bits out and drill it out. And yeah, it just takes a lot of extra time. So we'll see what happens by hand. Those are usually Loctited. They need a little torch action. I've got a pinpoint tip with map gas. It'll get a bolt a whole lot faster, a whole lot hotter, a whole lot faster than propane with a rosebud, that's for sure. Just trying to get it hot enough to melt the Loctite. I believe it's red Loctite. Let that heat soak in for just a few seconds. Using more oil. Never forget that this thing's hot. It'll be a rude surprise. Another pan. A paper towel for the thumb and fork parts. I don't think the shift shaft has a snap ring on it. Nope. It was really greasy on the other end, that's all that was holding it back. There's your shift shaft. That piece is a little hot. Got the right hand weight on the counterbalancer to take off next. Not a big fan of the bent over washers. Things can be a pain. That's probably far enough. $24. The beauty of air. Now the KLR650 does not have any reverse thread hardware in the engine. Some Kawasaki's do. Shims everywhere. Just trying to think if there's anything I forgot over here. And all the crankcase bolts are on the other side. Yep, there's the oil strainer. Definitely going to be some more oil coming out of here. I've just got some paper towels behind it to catch the drips. 2x4 holding it up. And I'm about ready to get all the case bolts out of here. I got the neutral switch here, I guess. I think my longer one's gonna be needed for most of these. Tight ones. Yeah, those four, two 10mm, two 8mm, have a little dab of aqua colored paint marker on them, so those may be Loctited or torqued extra tight. We'll just use some air on those. Crankshaft puller I got off eBay for maybe $50, something like that. It doesn't really fit this engine, but it does good enough. The crankshaft does not fit down in the end of that. I'm not sure I used this last time, because I have done it that way. I think the last one I did it split real easy, and I know that because the last thing I did was a KLR and the nuts are not set correct, which leads me to believe I just split it the old-fashioned way. Yeah, it does have a good pry point back here. Yeah, I think that's what I did. I mean, it's not that big of a deal to reset the nuts to the right depth. Yeah, it looks loose. I see movement. If I had another hand, well, nice when they have this pry point on them. I don't know if I can get enough with two hands. Just trying to get my painter's tool started in there. Nope. So either you're going to need a buddy or more pry bars. Bumping the camera now. That's that hollow sounding thunk I'm talking about. I don't know if you can hear that or not. That's a good sound. And as I'm tapping this stuff in here, I have movement, so there's no damage. It's definitely separating like that. Honestly, it's probably worth resetting the nuts on the case splitter. It does go quite a bit faster. It just pushes them apart. Hitting a tight spot down here. It's probably the big guide pin right there that oftentimes comes apart hard. Well, that sucks. It seems like it's coming apart a little bit hard. But yeah, it probably is that guide pin. I'm pretty sure I didn't miss anything. I don't believe there's anything on this side that holds it back. And I could triple check this side, but oh, I do have a 10mm there. I was kind of thinking that was a drain fill plug. So that thinking might just get me in trouble. Well, that's not a drain plug. That's a tight plug. Tight bolt. That's probably why it's not splitting. A lot of corrosion on it. I know I just did one of these, but I do so many engines that it's hard to remember very many specifics. Oh yeah. Didn't bugger anything up though, because I was getting movement. It's not like the metal stopped moving. If the metal stops moving, stop prying. It should not take Herculean efforts to split any crankcase. I'm sure with exceptions. Yeah, it's just coming right apart now. Alright. Got easy movement now, it's just sliding apart. Once you get all the bolts out, you knucklehead. I guess I've done so many engines that have a bolt right there. You know, you take that bolt out and you dump oil in until it leaks out the bolt, you know, you're full. But this has a sight glass, so that was not what it was. Okay. So now we want to lay this back on the clutch side. Here comes the oil pedals. And this is the side we want to take off. Balancer shaft. Stop right there and look for shims. I see nothing. Well, there's a shim on the balancer where the balancer pokes through. I like to clean oil drips off the floor as I go. Okay. Almost there now. You should be able to wiggle the axles around for the shift forks. Those should come out without need of tools. There's the shift drum. You got to make sure you get that turret off. Otherwise, you're going to split the cases, and there's really no way to hold this back without, you know, I mean, you could with some water pump pliers or channel locks, but you're going to damage it. It's kind of important to remove that turret beforehand, in my opinion. Maybe you've got a way to do it, but I don't. There's your upper balancer gear, and get that out of here. And there's another shim that was behind that balancer gear. And all these shims are different thicknesses. So you do have to kind of pay attention. Well, the transmission shafts should lift out of there together. Unless that one has a snap ring on it. It does. Kind of remember that after it was too late. Yeah, note to others, take the snap ring off before you split the cases. It would be easier. But if you forget like I did, it's not that big of a deal. May actually get my glasses for this one. Oh, it's got some little holes in it. Need to get some safety reading glasses because this is another piece that can fly off here. Just a little snap ring. That's actually about where you want it to be level like that, because the two shafts will have to come out together, at least partially, before you can get one out all the way. Maybe all the way. All the way. Oops. And I'll tell you, if you drop your transmission shaft, or if you don't hold it level, or if you have too many brews before you do it, maybe not on the KLR, I'm not sure. Some of these the gears will, and shims will just start falling off there. And if that happens, it's not the end of the world. It just takes more time to figure out how to put it back together. Some Kawasaki crankshafts are press fit. This one I don't believe is. It's not. At least the last one I did wasn't. And there's what it looks like on the inside. Not much left. Just the bearings and a few little parts. Good time to measure the specs on the crankshaft. That one certainly feels good. But I'll measure it once I get some of the mess cleaned up. Well, that one came apart fairly easy, no strip bolts or anything. Keep your workstation picked up. Having places to put stuff as you take it off is very nice. Have an oil drain pan. I use pieces of cardboard. And that's the baker's rack, and that thing is really nice. Used to put all this stuff on the floor, and now I'm getting older and bending over 1,000 times a day picking stuff off the floor gets to be less and less fun. So, and you know, I can put this stuff on the baker's rack and forget about it for a couple days. Who cares? It's not in the way. It has a small footprint compared to the whole engine tore apart laying all over the floor. So whatever works for you. And yes, it's a mess out here as usual. There's the new beta. That's a 250 KLX 300 hybrid I'm working on. Haven't really started working on it. KTM EXC 300, that's a lot of fun to ride. My KLR650. That's my personal one in case anybody gives two craps. I got a 2006, best looking year with the lime green. Must have been about 1975 or so. Saw the first lime green Kawasaki KX 125, and man, that was the neatest color bike I ever saw in my life. It always kind of stuck with me. I've always loved the lime green Kawasaki. It's just a pretty neat color, if nothing else. So, not much left to do. For me, I'm parting this one out, so I got the stator coils to take out, cam sprockets to take off, and maybe a couple other little things. But that's about it. It is pretty much totally tore down now. I certainly don't have a fancy shop. I don't have formal training. I don't have really that nice of tools. I mean, my sockets are SK and Craftsman. My wrenches are Snap-on that I got used pretty cheap. Just got a mismatch of Snap-on and Craftsman half-inch drive stuff. And the half-inch impact, the little quarter-inch battery impact, and the that's the 3/8, and the half-inch impact. About a $300 air compressor, actually about $250 on sale, $260, something like that. Really a pretty rudimentary shop. Gotta have flywheel pullers. That's one thing I gotta buy a lot of, and it irritates me to buy especially some of these, buy them and use them once, and they cost you $30-40, but that's just how it is. As you can see, buy the proper flywheel puller. You might as well, or you're gonna regret it, especially if it's $12. But yeah, there you go. You don't need a big fancy shop. You don't need to pay somebody $100 and some an hour to do this. Do it yourself. there's your guide. Hope it helps you out. Get yourself a factory manual and a 12-pack of beer, and give yourself a few days. Don't rush into it. Do it right. Good luck, and thanks for watching.